You're rolling.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Tony Lawrence, and I'm calling. Stop.
Rolling.
Okay. Ready?
You're rolling. Wait a minute. Go.
Hi, I'm Tony Lawrence, and I'm coming from a beautiful afternoon in Lincoln, California. I spent the week doing the San Francisco Chronicle wine judging, and I'm at the resident of a friend who I just did a great wine dinner with about, let's see, I would say 24 people. And I wanted to do this talk about my connection to wine and food. Wine and food pairing, so something special to me. But just to introduce myself, my name is Tony Lawrence, and I am a chef sommelier, food and wine pairing specialist. And it's all about really connecting those three together. But for the most part, I wanted to just talk about what I have in the glass and then reconnect you with food, the moment, people, and just how it all flows together. So I know there's been a big controversy about what is food and wine pairing, and is it natural? Is it right? Is it a good fitting? And I would say yes, yes, and yes. So just let's talk about one wine. I have in my hand a Riesling, and I'm just going to share you how I got connected to food and wine. So we all have these treasure moments as a kid. And what was that first moment of wine connecting to you, whether it's through your mind, passion, heart? I think to me it was like an aha moment, a measurement of sensation that you always want to feel about anything good. So my first expression of that moment was, I would say, Riesling. So I just remember being 13, going to the Mosel and having really something that you don't really do in America, but that is really natural in Europe or Europe. And it was just tasting a low acidity beverage that was called Mosel Riesling. I remember just how the sun came in, what was poured in the glass, and what was left just in the effervescence of flavor profile. And that was my moment of really waking up about the pleasures of wine and food. So I remember having this beautiful ham smoked or ham hock white bean soup, and the glass of wine that was poured was a Riesling. I think the vintage was 1978 Dr. Lucien Cabernet, and I just remembered the aromas. And I didn't understand everything about wine, but I knew one thing. I loved that aromatic of diesel or petrol, but also with the pear fruit nectar and just that right zing of acidity and just the beautiful finish of crisp pear. And then just that beautiful connection to the richness of the soup and the white beans and the smoky ham hock. To me, that was, I guess, my first love, but it was also my first introduction to gastronomy of wine and food pairing. And I believe in that ever since, because I believe that is a connection to this beverage and this mystic of while we eat so many different things in so many different countries, but then you put wine to it and it just makes the food wake up, come alive, almost like a dance, a waltz, maybe even how a perfect marriage is, or the honeymoon. It's just this this camaraderie of balance and patience, how it all comes together so quickly. And you never forget it. You never forget that magic moment of passion, romantic, illusions of grandeur that you just say, wow, that makes me feel good inside all over. So today I'm going to tell you how I do it as an adult, as using my wisdom and training over the years as a chef and a son and a food and wine preparing specialist, traveling the world, understanding more and more about history and culture and family, what makes a family create a winery, what makes them fall in love with the vineyard. So as a chef, you think food. As a son, you think wine. As a food and wine pairing specialist, you think putting it all together. So that's the bridge that you connect, or you look into a window and you see these beautiful vineyard, and then you see the grapes, and then you follow from the start of bud break to the first green fruit to the full harvest of the cluster. And then it gets deeper. So as you get older and you understand topography and soil, you then want to go a little deeper. So you find out why wine tastes like that, why it smells like that. So I'm going to take a sip so I can take you down memory lane. So the first thing I think of is the floral aromatics of the wine. Riesling has this beautiful floral fruit, very innocent, but this beautiful structure of power, acidity. Great for food, always matches that rich bean smoked ham hock to just this wonderful seafood of minerality like crab cakes. I'm from Maryland, so I have all these connections to this one wine. It links me everywhere I travel. So if you're in Maryland, and I grew up with crab cakes, the many different versions of what you can do with crab cakes. I think about that, and then I think about what else? What about a soup? So we always had, in certain parts of Maryland, some people eat the tomato-based crab, which is unbelievable. And then other parts of Maryland, it was almost like a chowder. So this wine will work with both of those. And that was the beauty of how local, drink local, eat local. And it wasn't even a brand then. We did it, and it was natural. So what else would I do with this? What about Easter? It's great with ham. It goes great with smoky flavors. Thanksgiving. It goes great with everything. Cranberries, turkey, ham, sweet potatoes. And then I think about, well, what about the summertime picnics? And as you go older, you go through this dance around this wine. Aromatics are pretty much the same. The fruit profiles are pretty much the same, depending on where it is, whether it's Washington State, California. But you always go back to home. And home was, Riesling is always going to be the Mosel, because it was the first time I've ever really tasted my first Riesling. And I just remember walking through the vineyards and I saw like terroir of slates. And I didn't understand what blue and orange and aqua and gray and white, but there were different mineralities that gave the wine even more flexibility to do different things and to give the wine more life or diversity of just range. So I started to explore, why do wines change just slightly from 3 feet to 8 feet to around the world? Why is it different in California, in Washington State, New York, Finger Lakes? But I kept on going back to Mosel, because the Mosel sort of kind of identify like the motherland of Riesling, like the steep terrain of vineyards that were on 90-degree angles. There's no place in the world like that grows Riesling. Now, Finger Lakes is almost like half of that, but it just doesn't compare to this beautiful 13-year-old vision of what wine is. It sticks with you the rest of your life. It transcends you into adulthood to create anything and everything from the mother grape, the motherland of this one varietal. Now, Burgundy has Chardonnay, Bordeaux has, let's say, Cabernet, but Riesling, the motherland, is definitely Germany. So, one of the courses I did for this group last night was this beautiful rendition of everything. It was a potato pancake. So if you grew up in a Jewish community, you get to eat a lot of potato latkes. So my upbringing through tasting all these variations of potato pancake was, wow, can I come up and create my own? So I have. And then, as the years went on, I started to say, well, why can't we do this crab cake, potato pancake, small plate with Riesling, and really express what the distance of taking two cuisines and creating one. So my Maryland roots, potato pancakes, and my German roots, and then I incorporated, just remembering going through Mexico, avocado, California. It's big. So this is what we do when we grow up with a wine. We expand our knowledge on place. We seek wisdom through different cuisines. So this beautiful dish was a potato pancake, very nice and crisp, very soft in the middle, with this beautiful salad of avocado and lump crab. And that was really a nice testimony when you're doing a classic pairing with people that you've never ever seen in your life, but you bring them into your world. You bring them into your world of this simplicity of food and wine. And it's not really hard at all. It's just following your roots, expanding your ethics of food and wine, and then bring it all together to share. And people get connected to the wine, the food, and then the moment. So, I would say thank you for listening. If you ever have any thoughts about a wine that you would like to reconnect to, please give me a call or give me an email, and I can share some notes with wisdom that I may have through your eyes, through the wine that you grew up with or loved. Thank you. Be in the spirit.